Invitation this morning and officially to be once again thank you sir for accepting our invitation, and I hope our staff they will act responsibly and preserve the soil and for future.
Now I invite our chief guest for this morning, Honorable Minister, to deliver his official opening speech for our celebration.
Senior government officials, PAO North, and officials of the agriculture ministry, our stakeholders, I acknowledge the representative of the school and the manager for the Northern Development Program, and particularly students and our farmers who are present here as well. Good morning, and thank you for this invitation. My sincere apology, I know that the permanent secretary is supposed to be here, but because I intended to come, I asked him if I can grace this occasion, and he does the one in the Central Division. Always good to be back in Wonolewa, and I'm glad to be amongst you again this morning. And of course, it's a privilege to be here. This is something that is dear to my heart, particularly after being involved in development over the last 8 years or so, which of course started from here in Wonolewa. I've decided to come away from the script that I have and probably address you in more simple terms so that we take back a lot of lessons and of course deeper meanings as well on why we are here. Let me start by stating very briefly why we are here. The UNCCD, as we call it, the UN Convention on to combat degradation and of course desertification. This was established in 1994 under the United Nations. Of course, that signifies the importance of this issue. If I may go back a few years prior to that, if I remember correctly, it was I think in the year 1983, there was a special committee that looked at the issue of sustainable development. Sustainable development is one of the buzzwords, particularly today. It was an issue that was discussed at that level, and that led again to some of the conventions, and this being one, in 1994 UNCCD. The international community under the United Nations was so concerned on the issue of sustainable development. Sustainable development back then in 1983 was defined as meeting the needs and aspirations of today without compromising those of the future. If you want to find a good definition for sustainable development, I like that one. Meeting the needs and aspirations of today without compromising those of the future. Development, ladies and gentlemen, and all key stakeholders, is good. But it comes with responsibility. And there is a price to pay as well when we are irresponsible. There are risks in development, but like any other risk, risks can be reduced, risks can be transferred, risks can be mitigated, or we live with the risk but manage the risks. As I've stated, development is good. But it comes with responsibility. People need to take ownership. And of course, it comes with a price as well when we act irresponsibly. Let me go back to the definition: meeting the needs and aspirations of today without compromising the needs and aspirations of the future. We just came back from COP21 in late November last year about the devastating effects of climate change as a result of development. Because the main concern today is the future of our children. We are enjoying the pristine environment here in Fiji, but what will it be like in the next few years? We are enjoying today, but are we compromising the future? That's the key question that you and I need to take back from here. And there are so many conventions, there are so many regulations, but it's our wrong priorities, it's the urge, and particularly in developing countries, when we are talking about economic benefits, I want you to listen very carefully. Money is not everything. A lot of times we are urged to compromise because of the need for economic benefit. But when we do so, we are compromising the future. I'm happy that I'm here in Vonoleu because I know Vonoleu quite intimately. And I know the irresponsible actions as a result of development here in Vonoleu. We have a Fiji Code of Logging Practice, but when I investigated flooding here in Vonoleu, most of the flooding in Vonoleu, in which most of the villages were affected, Watukuda for one, was a result of irresponsible development. There is a Fiji Code of Logging Practice, but nobody cares. That's the responsibility I'm talking about. The Ministry of Forestry has a responsibility. The logging companies have a responsibility. The landowners have a responsibility. When we do not do that, it comes with a price. Watukuda has been affected, and there was plans for Watukuda to be relocated, but that did not happen. Punindonglo has been relocated. Sueni has been badly affected because of gravel extraction. That's development. There is a price to pay. Meeting the needs and aspirations of today without compromising that of the future. So the first thing that I wanted to stress with you today, we cannot isolate ourselves. We are part of a bigger global community. The United Nations has recognized the significance and the importance of sustainable development. It has come up with conventions such as degradation and desertification. But the onus is on the countries and the authorities and the people to implement and respect so that we do not compromise that of the future. That's very, very important for us. Vonoleu harvests a lot of turtles. I always argue when I was Minister for Fisheries that one day there will be no more turtles in Fiji if we continue. We are irresponsible. You can eat all the turtles today, but one day your children, they'll never see, or they'll never know what a turtle is like, because it will be all gone. We are diving a lot now. People keep requesting for UBAs, breathing apparatus, because they've taken all the sudualus in the reefs, and now they've gone with the breathing apparatus to take everything. One day there will be no more sudualu. because of economic benefit. That's what's driving people crazy today. Money is not everything. We need money, but we need to consider the future as well. Particularly when you are dealing with extractive industries, like fisheries, like forestry, like minerals. Development is good, but it has to be sustainable. We all have a responsibility and we need to work together, we need to cooperate. We are here because of the importance of sustainable development, and we are here because of the UNCCD. It's a global concern with a local responsibility. A global concern, let me say that again, with a local responsibility. The United Nations has done its part, and we have to do our part for the future of the local community, and of course our responsibility globally as well. Let's act as responsible global citizens, all Fijians. Let me focus on the issue of degradation. Degradation, very simply, is when soil loses its quality. Losing its quality for the worse. That's degradation in its most simplest definition. When I was Commissioner Northern, dollar rejects in Taveuni was 10 to 15%. Today, dollar rejection in Taveuni is from 40 to 50%. Why? Degradation. Soil has lost its quality to the worst. Look at the yields in our sugarcane farms. If you are a sugarcane farmer, the world average is around 80 tons. Fiji's average is around 30 tons. Why? Soil depleting, soil conditions and fertility. Degradation. And as a result, it needs more capital to bring back the quality of the soil, whether we add lime or whether we go organic. So please take responsibility. There are three major issues in the world today when it comes to sustainable development. One is food security. By the way, this UNCCD, the Agriculture Ministry, is the ministry responsible, and that is why I'm here this morning. Food security is a major issue. And for Fiji, it's not only food in terms of quality and quantity. One of the major concerns in Fiji as well is nutrition. Most of our people eat, but eating the wrong food. And that is why we have one amputation in every 12 hours. And if that continues in the next 10 years or what, half of Fiji's population will be limbless. Dan kay so tegendo na mo memory. Sana bimamango saya po into two sa siyang serangan ewan. Bimamango sana po kaya ewan. Look at that. Serious, eh? We have a responsibility. Look after yourself. One of the issues in sustainable development. The other one is water. In Fiji, we have an abundance of rainfall, but we have a shortage of water. That's a challenge. We are blessed with abundance rainfall, but we have a shortage of water. But countries are running, looking for water today, so that they can support their development. And of course, the other bigger issue is energy. I'm stating this because Fiji is the first country to ratify the COP21 Paris Agreement. Fiji probably has also ratified the Sendai framework, which has replaced the Hyogo protocol or the Hyogo framework on disaster. And we have now the Sustainable Development Goals. So we have to act responsibility within these global issues. We have just come back last week or 2 weeks ago from Turkey in Istanbul on the first World Humanitarian Summit. Look at me. There's a lot of movement in the world today because of environmental issues. Not only conflict, there are two major contributing factors to uncontrolled, unnecessary movements in the world today. One is conflict and the other one is disaster. And within that is climate-induced disasters because of how we look after our environment. Look at the changing weather pattern. God has never changed, but we are the ones that cause the change because we are acting irresponsibly. We have a responsibility to look after this environment for the future of our children. If you are a farmer, act responsibly. If you are a government official, act responsibly. We in Fiji, we have good laws, although we are trying to improve some of the existing laws and maybe introduce new laws as well. If you have been following Parliament, the Land Resource Bill, the Land Use Bill, these are all in the process now because we want to strengthen the existing laws, or we need to bring in new laws so that we can look after our environment for sustainable development. But I always argue this. When I was here as commissioner, based on my experience as a civil servant, we have good laws, we have good regulations, but we have irresponsible stakeholders. I've seen it. People don't have the courage to enforce the laws that we have. Very good laws. When you are doing that, you are acting irresponsibly. You are responsible. You have a responsibility to the country. You have a responsibility to the communities, and of course, it's part of your wider global responsibility as well. Our future, our destiny is in our hands. We want to build a better from Cyclone Winston. We can turn our adversities into opportunities. As I've stated, development is good, but we need to act responsibly. We have the UN, CCD, and we have existing regulations under the various agencies, but I would urge all of us to take responsibility. You and I, parents, let's preach this at home, and let's make sure that we also lead by example. Government agencies, please take responsibility. In school, 1994 to 2004 to 2010, I think was the decade of education for sustainable development in the UN calendar of events. So that schools are not just centers for academic excellence, but this is where we advocate sustainable development issues. If there is a place where we need to start from, it needs to start from school. If the generation of today are irresponsible, I'm talking about the older generation, but let's start with our children. I was asked that question in Parliament. What is the long-term solution for Fiji? And I talked about the the old Chinese proverb that I've already always said here in Vonolem. According to the Chinese, if you want a short-term solution to your problem, plant rice. I was with PAO and the team yesterday because we are importing $50 million worth of rice into the country, and we have a lot of areas for rice, but we don't plant rice. For medium-term solutions, plant trees. But we have logged most of our local trees, indigenous species, and now we're ending up with plantations, pine and mahogany. After this pine and mahogany, kalas. No more. There's no replanting, no reforestation. We just want the money. We don't want to plant. We can't wait. There's no more sandalwood now because we just want the money. We can't replant. I've given you two good opportunities for you to enjoy economic benefits. Go and plant rice. Instead of that $50 million going to Thailand, that $50 million will be circulated amongst Fijian farmers. If you want to be a millionaire, plant sandalwood. You'll be a millionaire. But according to the Chinese, the long-term solution is to cultivate the people. It takes people to make development sustainable. You can have, look at me, you can have all the money in the world, you can have all the technology, you can have all the machinery, you can have all the expertise. But if you have the wrong people, there is no sustainable development. For long-term solution, cultivate the people. I hope that you will act responsibly. Thank you.
Vegetable season, so in the vegetable season, mostly we concentrate on this vegetable, and also we do kumala, and students will be setting up their farms at their places so that they can. Thank you, say loud.
The celebration today is it is in regards to the UNCCD program as such that looking to the Remembrance Celebrate the World Day to combat the degradation and drought. This is the occasion that is done throughout Fiji, but we are so fortunate to have the Honorable Minister to be our chief guest this morning for the Northern Division. So the staff from all over the Northern Division, from the three provinces, from the Konrobe and Buamaduata, as far as the Taiwanese staff, they were here today to be part of the occasion as we remember the degradation to combat drought and degradation of soils. Before today, our staff in the Northern Division, they were going through weight training from Monday. There was a Tuesday, Wednesday training in regards to the farming as a business. They very much closely looking to the land use management, trying to see how they can incorporate the land use principles into the sustainable land management. So they were going through a 3 days training, trying to interpret the LUC map, and I think they're very much into it, how they can use the LUC map in making plans for sustainable development. There was a training throughout for 3 days this week. The LUC map is the land use capability map. It stated the type of farming system that is appropriate and applicable to the classes of land. There are classes of land from class 1 class 2, class 3, class 4, which are arable land. So the LSU map, the land use capability map, it stated the type of farming system that is appropriate, and also the type of crop or livestock that is applicable to the class of land. So through that map, it assisted us to do appropriate and second the better farming system into a piece of land. I think for this stuff, these are extension stuff, livestock and crop, and these are the stuff that they serve in different provinces and districts. They are the forefront of the ministry in providing advice. And since sustainable development is a concept that we are trying to drive, and the climate change, the change in weather pattern example, and other mechanization come in, they are so important because they'll have to understand the importance of this. And second to that, they'll be empowered to be a good advisor. And third, which is very important for them to develop the kind of assistance and advice so that farmers can better utilize their land resource. I think we have our staff here. We are also so fortunate to have the representative from the Conservation International, who more or less look into the nature and ecosystem. So today's one-day workshop is such that they came to understand and say ideas on how best they can do a better farming system. And I think for Fiji, it's very important that the arable land, that is class 1 to class 4, which is good for productive, it's about 31%. And for the Northern Division, it is approximately 27%. So looking at that, we can really understand that the topography of the land system in the north is such as hilly slopes. So this is very much important to understand LSU and also how we can carry out a better farming system. So that is the very important of our staff have been here today to understand the concept, get empowered, and also to advise our farmers on how they can well utilize their land resources.